Okay.
Hello, welcome to we're doing a special edition. Oh, are we good?
Yeah.
Webs? Okay, cool. Hey, I'm Jessica.
I'm Olivia.
This is Olivia, and we are filming here this evening on perception and perspective, where we just talk about what we think about stuff.
Yep.
You about to say
Sounds
something
about
else?
right. Nope.
And we do it live because we'll censor ourselves otherwise. So, this is a bonus episode. We just recorded one right a little while ago.
Mhm.
And since it's talking about mostly feminine things, we figured we'd start a new stream to talk about new, cool other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had kind of talked about we were going to do simulation theory and talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do that. First question on that, though. Did you ever end up looking up anything about simulation theory other than like what we discussed last night?
I mean, I've always known about the simulation theory. Like, I used to watch videos of like Elon Musk talking about it
Mm-hmm.
and just people's like beliefs and stuff. But I've never. I mean, I don't know. It kind of depends what you mean by simulation. Because when I think of simulation, I think of like The Sims.
Like, go on.
What do you mean? You're being like.
Well, I want to know what you think of
like
it.
when you're being controlled by a higher power. But personally, for me, when I think of simulation, I don't necessarily think of being controlled by a higher power, but I do think sometimes of like, what if everything around us isn't real, like the trees and people and the ground. Like that's what I view as like a simulation. Or that would be like being part of a simulation, like nothing around you actually like authentically like feels,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I guess there are many interpretations. That is actually distracting me a little bit.
Really? Do you want me to turn it off?
Okay. Would you care? We just like tried something having music in the background. It's like breaking my concentration because I'm like because I have like that synesthesia thing. Did I ever tell you about that?
No. What's
Oh
that?
my gosh. So it's basically my senses get like intertwined. So when I hear music, it kind of looks like shapes and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, like in my brain. Like my brain interprets it like that. And it's also like, have you seen like some of my paintings and stuff and how I can just do that? It's because I see colors in a kind of a different way. And
That's
also have
so
like,
cool.
okay, and then how it works as a stylist and stuff like that and color matching and stuff. Are you sleeping?
Sorry.
Anyway, because of that, it's like I have different, I don't know how we started talking about this. It's part of simulation theory. I'll tie it in, I promise. Okay.
Yeah.
Some people have more cones in their eye, mostly women, where they can see color. Okay, let me back up. Basically, it's called cones. I'm talking about the part of your eye that is receiving in light and color and stuff. If you have what's called more cones of it, it's like to absorb the color, then you can see more color variation. You ever seen any of the color tests? And actually, women typically can see color variation.
Oh, more than men
much
can.
more. Like my husband, I can say this is a teal, this is turquoise, and this is indigo, and he's like, it's blue. What are you talking about?
My dad's actually a little colorblind.
See, like, and that's more prevalent in men because of that. And evolutionarily, that's because women were the gatherers, and we needed to know what berry was safe and what was edible and what we could forage.
So cool.
So somewhere along the way, my theory being like technology or perhaps chemicals or perhaps I'm a mutant, I don't know. There are small people that have this synesthesia thing. So listening to music is distracting. That's where we were at.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Back to the video.
That's why we do this live, because I'd be so tempted to like, oh, I hate talking about myself. Edit.
Yeah. But like here, it's like we're being so authentic. There's no editing out anything we say. It's a little scary because we do say some scandalous things, but.
And I wanted to say this on camera actually to you because she gave me the best compliment. So I don't care. I'm gonna share it because I love
your
it.
skin.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna say, she said, I feel so smart hanging out with you, and I feel like I learn so easily hanging out with you, Jessica.
Yeah, because my pace of like gaining knowledge is like so like fast now.
Like I'm so glad.
Like instead of me trying to catch information, it's like turning around and like sprinting, like running towards me as fast as I can. I'm like,
That is awesome.
it's like if the information got into a car and just ran me over like multiple times, and then like back.
You lost me.
Anyways, moving on.
You're like running me over with a truck and then backing up and hitting me with more info. And that's what it's like to have a friend as a philosophy teacher.
That's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed.
No, let's learn some stuff together. Well, shall we, child?
Yes.
Okay, great.
We shall.
But I was sharing that compliment because I want to give you a compliment too.
Oh.
That you are such a good and receptive person and a student, and me with the heart of the teacher. It's like, I don't think most people get it of like, yeah, I do a show on the internet with an 18-year-old and I run a crystal shop and I'm a veteran political scientist. And it's like, what the why are you hanging out with children? No.
What?
Like they should protect the children. Anyways, I love you.
The witches are hanging
Thank
out with our
you.
children.
Watch out what your kids do or they'll become my friends.
No, stop. The evil laugh after.
I left my tea in there. Do you want to talk and I'll go grab it? Or do you want to grab it?
What do I talk about?
Oh,
actually,
can you grab my tea?
No,
Go ahead.
you can. Okay.
Okay, good.
So, if you didn't know this, I've always wondered how worms reproduce, right?
Oh my god.
And basically, the way they do it is you have two worms, and they go against each other like this, and then it creates this type of like sperm sac, and then it like drops into the dirt, and then eventually, over time, a worm grows from that sperm sac out of the ground and becomes a worm.
I was looking at her like, are you serious? That's fascinating. Go on.
Yeah, my biology teacher told me that.
That is awesome.
Yeah, like a lot of animals like
Like never need to know that.
that's like crazy.
I take that back. You might need to know that because we'll all need to grow our own food here when everything collapses, and
Right.
we'll need to know how to make compost. That's actually useful. Good job.
Nice. Up top.
Woo!
Oh, okay. Up top. Just kidding. You're a loser.
Okay. Did you want some of that? I'm sorry.
Some what?
This. I can grab you one.
No, don't.
Okay.
I don't need. I'm like, it tastes terrible. Please don't.
All right. We're gonna do like this new segment kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm springing this on her now, but it's a brilliant idea. You'll love it. Now, just to satisfy anyone actually looking for answers on simulation theory, I will give an answer that I think is like very succinct and like it sounds to me when I hear simulation theory, and I'll explain more, but the way that our modern interpretation of religion for like, it's like steampunk religion.
Mm-hmm.
It's applying technology to something that religion and God and spiritual teachers have been talking about this entire time. It's just using different words for that. We can dig into more on that, but do you understand like my answer so far of saying that being controlled by an all-powerful thing that has created us to do certain tasks, that's the basis of a simulation theory, right? Did you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, some people just call that God. So
Got it.
So just to satisfy that. But what I was talking about with the drum roll and the dramatics and all that with the new segment is I'm going to give you like A, B, C, D options of things that I'm going to teach you
I
about.
love picking things. Okay. So what am I picking?
Spoken like a true gatherer.
So what am I? I feel like I have the conch right now.
The conch?
Yeah, like have you ever read that?
What is it from? I know what you're talking about, but
it's like that movie where like these little kids become hooligans and they're like running around.
Oh, like the
Kumbaya.
Do you think that actually happened? I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, I literally just read it too.
Actually, they've done social experiments, and it's like boys that are, oh my gosh, that's perfect to what we always talk about. We always end up talking about
men
and women and their differences.
Yeah.
But there's actually a study how do we side quest so cray? All right. There's a study where they took like all 8 to 10-year-old boys and put them like in a house
Yeah.
and see how they behaved without any supervision, like 10 of them. And then they did the same thing with like 8 to 10-year-old girls. The boys were like destroying stuff. They were having dinner with like their feet on the table and just insane, you know, just little boy stuff. And they looked like they were having fun. Honestly.
I love men. That's so funny.
And the little girls were sitting down with their napkins.
Really?
And they had prepared like food and stuff. And they were just like playing house. They were playing mommies. And the boys were like, we can destroy stuff? Yeah! Like stuff like that.
Honestly, that sounds like a fun time. I'd be like swinging from the chandelier, jumping on the mattresses, you know it.
Oh my gosh, I just had this memory that was just, it's so me. Because
Is it chocolate covered strawberries? Because I'm thinking the same thing.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was this game that me and my cousins used to play called War.
Okay.
Super fun.
I mean,
okay, I'll tell you about it. Yeah.
I mean, so.
Even back then, I was like, I'm going to the military. Like, yeah. So I was just telling her, like, I would be like with my little bows and fingernail polish with like army men set up in like battle formation. And I was just always like, really
yeah.
War, real quick. Super side quest, and then we'll give your ABCD. How's that?
Okay.
In the age of Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies.
That hurt very much when you threw them.
Like
my cousins and I. So my sister was 4 years younger. Okay, me and my cousin were the same age. Rest in peace. She's passed.
Oh.
But we would be on one side of like the big playroom, and we'd take pillows and make like a trench. So we had like our side.
Oh, that's not. We used to
and
do
they
that
would do that, and it was like my little sister and then her little sister. So it was 4 little girls. Basically, there's their fort on that side of the room, and then fortify it. However, and then you gotta. I can't remember the exact objective, but the weapons were massive amounts of Beanie Babies, and those shits hurt when they hit you like Beanie Babies. That hurts.
I had a huge memory of like
War, and it was fun. We just pelt each other.
I had this huge memory of being in like preschool or elementary.
Thanks. I'm so glad my story was entertaining.
No, it was. What do you
Tell
mean?
me about preschool? I don't know. You like didn't even react. You're like, oh, that's cool. That's so. It's like you know me enough by now. You're like, of course you played War.
Yes, that's literally why at the beginning I was like, well, of course. I mean, you did go to the.
Did you like the story?
Yes, I love this story. Beanie Babies.
Can you imagine me getting hit in the face with Beanie Babies?
That sucks. My brothers used to terrorize me and chase me with like BB guns and shoot my toes, and like it was just really crazy. But anyways, so in preschool, I was building like this little cup tower, right? There was boys on one side, girls on one. We had these cup towers, and we were like throwing like blocks at each other, like chairs and all kinds of stuff. And I flashed myself at this one kid to try to like distract him, and I got in huge trouble. And she had to write a note home to my dad saying that I flashed a kid in class because I was trying to distract him while we were like.
That's called using your dark feminine, when you're using your powers for evil.
Sorry. Yeah. But it does come in use sometimes.
It does. I was just making a joke. But I do know when I was. Can I finish my little like flashback cool ass story about battle?
Finished.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just want you to imagine, because I was probably like 10, 11, and you know, we weren't having tea parties. I was like in front of my trench.
Yeah, like trying to hide.
I go capture all.
That's there's so many,
and that's why I am the way I am today. Did you see what happened when my new assistant came up to me the other day and tried to scare me?
Me?
No, you're not my assistant. You know who I hired. I don't want to say her name publicly.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
like,
she came in behind me, and I was sitting there talking to somebody else, and she was like, went like this and was like, hey, like, boo, you know,
yeah.
you know how she was, and I grabbed, and I was like, don't ever sneak up on me, girl. I have like the, you know, like the panic. Sorry. Oh my god, put that stuff away. The panic responses of like fight
or flight.
Yeah, fight or flee or freeze or fawn. They added a fourth one.
Oh,
all that. I just have always directly been fight instinct.
I mean,
you're probably gonna blame it a redhead thing. Oh, I knew you were thinking that. And you're like, of course you wanted to fight everybody.
I mean, it's not like you're the spawn of Satan or anything.
Nobody said that. You're literally the only one who's. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody says that. Hey.
Okay, anyway.
You want to hear something funny?
Huh.
My birthday is on the start of the Salem witch trials. So I'm like, no shit. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, so somebody put a curse and I'm fulfilling it.
What even is the Salem witch trials?
Okay, we'll add an E to this. And we're going to do this in like 15, 20 minutes. I got this. What time is it? 9? Is that cool?
Yep.
They close at 10:30, right?
Yep.
We got this. Did you have any further questions? Or are we going to go into this? Cool.
We can answer the Salem thing later, though, because I feel like we should probably get back on.
We will get back to every single one of the topics I'm about to present to you.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Option A, we will go more into the simulation theory. What is it? Why is it? And the possibilities mathematically, all that cool stuff with sacred geometry and stuff. That's A. Okay. Next one, I will go into what I refer to as mom's rules, which are no Dybbuk boxes, no Ouija boards, and no summoning.
Ooh.
Okay. Option C, or 3, I don't even remember what it was that I called it. We will talk about. You good?
I want the second one.
Let me tell you the other ones, because everybody wants to know that too, because you're sitting there looking at the list.
I can read your mind. I know what they want.
You already have
What's
a country.
the third one? I'm so curious.
What is a deity, a pantheon, an altar, and all the other stuff that I sell in the shop? Like, what does it actually mean in properties? And it's kind of like, I'll be the dictionary that everybody has asked for, because all the information on YouTube is presented so yucky from the witch community. So it's like
Right.
nobody really knows what an athame is. And then they will say this thing, a full segment on what is this? Okay. Now, you'll want to hear this next one too.
Okay.
Have you heard of the Indigo Child?
Uh-uh.
Oh my. Around
Does it look scary?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
Am I
gonna
putting you
be-
to sleep?
No, I thought it was gonna be about like some big, like scary monster.
Well, maybe I am a big scary monster, because
No,
I'm
the
considered
Indigo
an Indigo
Child.
child. I'm considered one, you silly goose. Listen, late 70s to mid 90s, there was a phenomenon called the Indigo Children. Okay, you know what an aura is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
around
the
you.
energy field. Okay, they were called the Indigo Child. Certain children born around that time, because they had this deep indigo color to their aura and just understood things quickly and knew things and had psychic abilities and became like this whole, what you are reaping the benefits of us talking about this openly without me being burned at the stake. The
Mhm.
Indigo Child brought that in, and now we are seeing newer generations called the Crystal Child, which were more sensitive, more empaths being born. It's kind of like we were talking about cyclical,
Mhm.
about these different types of people being born into the world and all the theories around that.
Right.
And star children and indigo children, all this, because I have actual series of my own about your generation and my son's coming generation, and I'm calling them the Ruby Child and the Diamond Child, and I've got theories on that. So that's the other option. You are so like, you're wanting this one, huh? Yeah, I know. Or the Salem Witch Trials. Okay, what's your choice?
Wait, what was the?
It's literally this one, Mom's Rules.
Mom's rules.
Okay, I did not think you'd pick that, really.
Yeah, that was the second one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go.
I need a deep breath. Can you even read my writing? What are Mom's rules?
No Dybbuk
Boxes.
Benny.
No Dybbuk boxes. No Ouija
Wait,
boards.
I was gonna read it. Stop. No summoning.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like no Ouija boards.
Ouija
No
board.
Ouija.
Ouija.
This looks like no Ouija boat. No.
You're boring, everyone.
How am I?
Anyway, do you know what a Dybbuk box is?
No.
Do you know what a Ouija board is?
Yes.
What do you know about Ouija boards?
I just know that you put your fingers on it. It moves around.
You know what it's supposed to do? Do you know anything about Ouija boards?
Yeah, like that's how you summon like answers
So no.
from. Okay, whatever.
Go ahead. You're like, yeah.
Just go ahead.
Get answers from the dead. Is that mostly what you know about it?
Like maybe. Like yeah, sure.
No, I'm asking, is that what you
Yeah.
heard about it? Okay, cool. The reason I'm asking this is not to pester you, young one. I'm just trying to figure out where your basic level of knowledge is, because that's what I do when I teach. So I'm not being repetitive, or I'm not skipping forward on your thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, basically I just know that Ouija boards, you sit there with like a group of people. I've heard you need more than one person. You can't do it with one person. I've heard that. Or two
Okay.
people or something like that. And you sit in a group with people and you all put your fingers on this little triangle thing that like spells things out because there's letters. And basically it's supposed to move on its own. And I guess I would say it's like spirits interacting with you through objects, since they can't interact with you through any other way. So that's basis of like what I know.
Okay. So, also want to ask this before proceeding.
Oh my god.
This
stop,
is a
I'm scared.
spooky one.
Stop. I'm scared. Because
Should
your
we
shop is
do-
a little spooky. at
Yeah,
night.
we're literally in my crystal.
I mean, I feel
tarot
safe
shop.
with you that I think I'll be fine.
I mean, I think you're going to be terrified after we talk about this.
I'm excited.
Okay, good.
Okay, inform me. Wait, what are we talking about though? What am I going to be terrified about?
Mom's rules. I came up with this when my son was little and he's exposed. Like I was reading tarot out of my house at the time, so different clients, even though, whatever, he heard conversations about different stuff. He's always been into like super spooky things,
Mm-hmm.
just macabre stuff. And you met him, right?
Right.
So
Great guy.
what he told you about your past life recently. Okay, we're not going to go.
Yes, like literally.
He's a spooky fellow. Okay, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
going to talk about
yeah.
it. Okay, anyways, I came up with some stuff just as basic ground rules that even like a kid can remember and everything, because there are certain things when you're dealing with the supernatural you just do not mess with for reasons. And I will go into what they are and reasonings for that, because you don't need to go grab a high power line out there for electricity. No, we're going to plug stuff in at the wall. So we'll do that, right?
Okay.
So all of these things are like cutting a high power line and grabbing a hold of it and expecting to be able to hold on to it and not get thrown. Magically, supernaturally speaking, okay? A Dybbuk box is like one of the puzzle boxes that have for sale and stuff out there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, those can be used to trap demons.
Really?
And they're called Dybbuk boxes.
Oh my gosh, that's so. I did not know that.
And you can actually buy them online, and people have videos releasing them and such. Now,
That seems kind of dangerous. Question mark?
yeah,
Kind of seems like a bit of a bad idea if you ask me.
yeah, and people like releasing them into their houses, and terrible things going down, and like then they're being tormented and all this kind of thing. And let me just say this: even if you believe in it or you don't, why would you want to find out?
Right.
So that's why no Dybbuk boxes. Questions?
No, I'm just.
Terrifying, right?
How do you like prevent? I mean, is it just like preventing demons from coming into your life, just not interacting with that kind of stuff? I mean,
Are you? It's not a prevention. What do you mean?
like
A Dybbuk box is just like a box.
no,
that has a
not
demon
like
in it,
Dybbuk box, but just like the practices that you can do that kind of allow or like welcome. So like as
Oh,
long
I
as
see.
you
You're
don't,
saying why the rule.
right. So like
Okay,
as long
I
as I
gotcha.
don't like welcome a demon, I won't. You know what I mean? Like how do you stop that from happening?
So basically, these kind of rules like this is equivalent to, hey, it's safe just to lock your doors at night.
Right.
You know, instead of opening up and any crazy that's out there saying, hey, come on in.
There's a party at my house.
Like, this is just like, no, stay inside
Right.
after dark, lock your door, it's cool.
Mhm.
You know, this is just, that's the difference. Not somebody couldn't bust in there and all that, and then you have to shoot them, whatever.
Right.
Tackle them, no. But
Right.
Whatever the case may be, we're not inviting in unnecessary, deep, dark things.
Right.
With that.
Okay.
Now, Ouija boards, I'll tell you the full thing about it.
Is it still the creepy?
Hmm?
Is it still like the creepy?
Yeah, all of it. Like,
okay.
These are
perfect.
The house rules. All right, so Ouija boards, what they are, was actually created in like early 20th century, so like 1920s. There was like a spiritualist revival thing where there was lots of psychics are coming around, and that's the whole thing. So Ouija boards were invented, and yes, they are distributed by Mattel. Like,
who's Mattel?
Like or I think it's Mattel. Like a board game. Or I think it's Mattel is like the one that's a toy maker.
Oh, so the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, it's actually done. So like that, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a game, it's sold under a game thing. And I'm like, that doesn't matter when you're going to the supernatural world of who distributed the thing. If you're asking
and you're welcoming, then it's gonna happen, bozo. Like,
it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I've experienced so much stuff. One of them being ghosts rolling toys across the room.
Oh, that's so creepy.
They didn't say like, oh, that Tonka truck is below me, I'm a spirit. No, like, if it's there, they'll use it. That's the same thing with Ouija boards.
Right.
But back to what they do in the spiritualist movement back then that actually propagated it. The board itself is set up with letters and numbers, yes, no, and there's different things on there where the spirit can use to communicate. There's so much better ways to communicate. I don't know, like, this is just like, it's subpar anyway by the premise of it. Anyways, I sound so elitist about Ouija boards. Okay. So there is what's called a planchette, like the little thingy that you lay on top of it with the circle in the middle, and then two people put their hands on it, and what they're doing is saying, hey, come talk to us, okay, with their hands on there.
Yeah.
And then it will move according to whichever. Why I say no Ouija boards is because it's worse than how I said, like with Dybbuk boxes and all that, it's like leaving your doors unlocked and invite spirits to come in or whatever. When you got a Ouija board, it's like throwing them a effing party.
Like an invitation.
And say like, hey, whatever can come through. And not only we get like passed on people potential, but oftentimes what I've seen come through is like darker. Did you hear that? Something darker and also unwanted that latches onto things, and it screws with people, and it's just a terrible idea. No Ouija boards. And just do not. And people are like, what's wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go grab that power line, like I was saying, to go charge my phone.
Right.
You wouldn't do that.
I've never played like with a Ouija board before, but a lot of my friends have.
Yeah. What are their experiences?
I mean, they really, like, one of them was like, nothing really happened. Like, or no. Oh my God, no, something did happen. What am I saying? She told me that whenever she was doing it with these people, it spelt out the name of one of the people's grandparents that died recently, but he never told anyone about that. So like when it spelt out that name, like no one even knew his grandma or knew what her name was, because this was like at a mental hospital, so no one knew each other. Like, you're not even allowed to get like close in mental hospitals, or else they'll separate you, because you're not there to make friends, you're there to get better. So like they didn't know anything like that with him.
Sick thinking about you can't have friends, get better. Sorry, like just what you said.
Yeah,
I was like
my friend told me it's an actual thing.
Isolate and get better. What's wrong with you?
Like when they can tell that you're getting close and becoming best friends, they'll literally separate you into like the two different pods, like within the mental hospital. And I mean, but like I don't understand how that affects.
Well, here's the thing with Ouija boards, you can get legitimate answers and can get that, but that's just hoping the right person comes to the party that you're throwing for every nasty person.
What if you were to like,
or spirit or whatever?
What if you were like to stand your ground and make it clear, like only spirits that have like are coming from a loving, like,
Yeah, that's the thing about a party without a bouncer, dude.
right. Yeah.
You know, because you can put stipulations on with other forms of communication with the other side.
Right.
There is certain ways of doing that, but just a Ouija board, it's like opening up a big, like, how do I put it? Like maybe a big spotlight and saying, hey,
Wait.
whatever, come in and F with us.
Can the
Like,
other
you just don't do
side
that.
like physically hurt us, or can they only?
Yeah.
Then how come they don't when they have
Well,
chances?
what are you talking about? You want me to tell you the motivation of ghosts? I don't freaking know.
No, it's
Or
just
demons? Like, what do you mean?
No, I'm just saying it's like at any moment they could throw this Coke can at my head. For,
Could
like,
a spirit
no
do
reason.
that? I mean, I guess so. I've seen some crazy stuff. I've
But
had
that's-
scratches before during
that's just scary,
when I was
though.
doing a house cleansing.
That's just scary though, because it's like it makes me not even like the house that I live in. 2 people passed away there, but they were very good people, so I don't know
Yeah.
if that matters.
Well, I
like,
mean-
how they were before they died. Like, can they be like a really great person, but then once they're like a spirit lurking in the shadows, like, can they become like a different? Like,
I've never
what I
seen
mean?
that
wait, also
happen of like somebody who is completely different in the spirit
Wait,
form than they are.
This is
in
such a good question, though. If
Okay.
if reincarnation was to be real, then how come spirits still exist within that? Like, what are spirits exactly? How do they form? Like the evil spirits that are just like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like,
That makes sense. Okay. There was like so many questions thrown at me, and all I said was like,
Sorry.
"Don't play with Ouija boards." And she's like, "What is everything? What is everything?" Okay, got it.
I'm just really curious. I just want
It actually ties into the third rule I was telling you about. So, mom's rules. Rule number 1, no divot boxes. Rule number 2, no Ouija boards. Rule number 3, no summoning. Because that is similar to what kind of no summoning rule there. Rule is there because it's similar to calling in something to whatever practices you're doing, and then
that was actually helpful. Thank you.
I know, because the reason, okay,
Yeah. See, like that's how I kind of feel about it. Like,
right, and it's like the behavior in death matched in life for that. Oh, what? Go ahead and read that.
Oh no, I already read it.
1 minute out loud. Okay.
Oh, you want me to? Yeah. I mean,
She said, I'll go ahead and read this comment. Said, I've never seen the departed return with the ability to move stuff. My dad was a living poltergeist and had lost that ability when he returned.
That's crazy.
I've seen spirits move stuff.
Hmm?
Spirits will move stuff. They do it all the time.
That's scary though.
Throw stuff on the wall.
That's scary. Cause like I think of like when I'm in my room alone and it's dark. And
Mhm.
also, what are with all the movies that are centered around like don't turn off the light? Like, is there something about the darkness that allows them to be more like communicative or more? Or am I getting too deep into something that I don't want to know about?
No, we could talk about it. I was just like thinking of like time and stuff like that, and was thinking about all of your questions is going to be like an hour-long answer. So I'm
yeah.
trying to hone on at least like one of your questions, which are
Dang
really
it, I should have
good.
my notebook, so I need to write these down actually.
Go for it. We can rewatch it too. Okay. So I'll be real brief about different spirits and stuff. There's, oh gosh, reincarnation and all that does not, and from what I've seen and experienced and understand, always happen immediately. Because when you pass on to spirit, there are things that you need to process sometimes and figure out, and people of hold on, I'll read that in a minute because I'll get real lost. And as far as reincarnation, it's not to say like there are ghosts, heaven, or reincarnation. It's all like it can all exist within the same thing. So you can talk to
That's
the
so
departed.
crazy. So how do you get to that part? I mean, that thing is, it's like, do you have to be such a
Get to what thing?
like the fact that it can coexist, like reincarnation and also like spirits existing?
I'm saying if you're without, like, if somebody passes on and goes into spirit form, they don't reincarnate immediately, that I've seen.
Oh, so it's
they're
like
on
more
the other
like
side for
Oh,
until
okay.
it is time.
That's so crazy. That's like actually so cool. I've like never really
You never knew
like,
that? Oh,
I've
I'm
never
glad we
really
got
like
into
looked
this.
at it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why like I've had people come to me and want mediumship on certain stuff, and I've had that before of like this person is incarnate again and
Right.
da da da, this is what I know, this is where you can go with that. But as far as directly talking to them who have passed on, that is beyond them at the moment. So are you reading this?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. All right. So, and as far as you were asking about, there's also residual hauntings. You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
That's kind of like if a person lived in a specific house and it started absorbing their energy, or maybe like they walked a certain number of times a day up and down the hall,
Right.
the house will absorb that energy and kind of like a replay over and over.
Right.
So that's a residual haunting there.
Interesting.
Yes. And I kind of skimmed through that, so I don't know if she or whoever had commented with that. But another haunting type is a poltergeist,
Mm-hmm.
which is
I was just about
actually
to ask what a poltergeist was.
So what poltergeist is, it's German for noisy ghost. They make a lot of racket and stuff, but it is not an actual spirit. What it is more like a
Entity?
kind of like an entity.
energy,
Think of
maybe?
like bad fairy that was created because it's kind of like imagine like really bad, evil, yucky stuff that you maybe fed into and kind of became its own separate thing, and then just
Right.
becomes like a haunting, becomes a
Right.
noisy ghost.
Gotcha.
So yucky stuff. Never dealt with poltergeist. I would love to do all that. Okay, are we about ready wrapped up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like we have all these other cool topics, and
Yeah, no, I actually kind of like that we were getting in more of like the creepy stuff, because like I don't know, it's like kind of fun. And also like I don't know why, but your shop is creepy at night. Like during the
Super
day
cool
it
at
has
night.
such great energy, and it still has good energy, but it just feels like
What?
No, I'm paranoid now.
I did tell you, like, before we got into Mom's Rules territory, it was going to get creepy. And there you go.
Why does that happen? Is it because we're like acknowledging them?
Yeah.
more?
I did tell you about that. I wasn't just talking about,
That's
like,
so
just talking creepy. Like, now creepy stuff's going to go in.
Ew. Okay.
Spooky.
Well,
Okay. Hashtag spooky.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Yes.
Whoever's going to be watching.
Yes. Thank you.
And be careful when it
Yes.
comes to doing things like that, because you got to protect your space. Don't send out an invitation to every spirit that exists on this planet. That's a very bad idea.
Because it's like you don't want to find out the hard way that they're not.
It ain't actually as fun as you think it is. So be careful what you do.
Yeah. Just be on the safe side, because it's like, just don't go out of your way to find a divot box.
Mom's house, mom's rules.
You got it. All right. Bye. Y'all have a great
Bye.
weekend. See you soon. Mwah. Love you. Bye.
Oh my God.